Left-handedness. Being left-handed feels like the world was built against you. Scissors that fight back, desks that trap your elbow, and tools that seem designed to sabotage your day. But left-handedness isn't a disadvantage. It's a biological twist that creates rare advantages most people never notice. Since nearly 90% of humans are right-handed, every sport, every drill, every opponent is trained to face right-dominant movement. So when a lefty shows up, a southpaw boxer, a left-handed pitcher, a tennis player with reverse spin, their game feels unpredictable. Opponents have to think instead of react, and that split second of hesitation becomes a weapon. Elite athletes have proven this edge repeatedly. Rafael Nadal's left-handed spin has carried him through more than 85 career titles. Barry Bonds, a left-handed batter, holds the all-time home run record. Lefties aren't just rare, they're strategically disorienting. But the advantage isn't only physical. Growing up in a right-handed world forces lefties to constantly adapt, switching hands, flipping instructions, navigating reversed controls. That daily rewiring strengthens the brain's communication between hemispheres, enhancing creativity, flexibility, and abstract thinking. Studies show left-handed people often have denser interhemispheric connections, giving them mental agility shaped by necessity. Their disadvantage becomes a training ground, turning lefties into problem solvers shaped by a world that never fit. And just like one hidden trait can become an unexpected advantage, another so-called flaw can sharpen awareness so intensely that it becomes a survival skill. Anxiety. Anxiety feels like living with an alarm system that never stops testing its volume, a mind that runs disaster drills over problems that aren't even real yet. But beneath the discomfort, anxiety hides a trait evolution relied on for survival: hyper-awareness. Anxious people run mental simulations automatically. They plan for outcomes others never consider. They double-check, anticipate, analyze, and prepare. What feels like worry is often the brain running predictive models, spotting potential threats, noticing tiny shifts in behavior, and catching subtle details that most people overlook. In ancient environments, this vigilance was life-saving. The calm, carefree hunter walked past the strange tracks in the dirt. The anxious one noticed them, connected the pattern, and avoided danger. Over generations, this trait didn't fade. It persisted because it worked. Even today, anxious individuals often become the planners, the organizers, the risk analysts of their social groups. They're the ones who see the crack forming in the plan before it breaks. They feel the tension in a voice that others miss. They prepare for the scenario that would surprise everyone else. Anxiety can overwhelm, but its core mechanism is awareness sharpened to a molecular level. The same system that makes someone overthink is the system that lets them protect, prevent, and foresee. What feels like a weakness is often the reason everything stays on track. And just as the mind can reshape vigilance into strength, the body can turn a seemingly unwanted trait into a surprising physical advantage, even something as unexpected as baldness. Baldness. Baldness is often treated like a loss, a vanishing crown, a symbol of aging or genetics gone rogue. But beneath the smooth surface, baldness carries advantages most people never consider. It's not a downgrade, it's an optimization. Hair acts like natural insulation. Great for winter, terrible for heat. When the scalp goes bare, the body becomes a more efficient cooling system. Heat escapes faster. Sweat evaporates quicker. Temperature regulation becomes cleaner and more effective. That's why so many athletes, soldiers, and high-performance workers keep the head shaved. It's aerodynamic, practical, and built for endurance. Then comes the psychology. Studies show that bald men are consistently perceived as more authoritative, more competent, and more confident. Same face, same person, but remove the hair, and the brain of the observer rewires its impression. It's called the power buzz effect, and it's why so many action heroes, CEOs, and leaders adopt the clean-shaven look. Optics shape perception, and a bald head projects dominance. There are lifestyle upgrades, too. No bedhead, no bad hair days, no expensive maintenance, no humidity battles. A bald head is low-friction living, literally and metaphorically. What seems like a cosmetic loss is actually a heat-regulating, authority-boosting, confidence-shaping redesign. And just as hair can vanish to reveal unexpected strengths, another supposed flaw, flat feet, hides a surprising advantage written into your biomechanics. Flat feet. Flat feet were once mocked in gym class and treated like a flaw, a structural mistake that needed correction. But when you strip away old assumptions, flat feet reveal a surprising biomechanical advantage built for endurance, shock absorption, and long-distance resilience. A lower arch spreads impact more evenly across the foot with every step. Instead of sending vibrations upward into the shins and knees, the force disperses across a wider surface area. The result is less stress on bones, fewer microfractures, and smoother impact distribution. A natural shock-absorbing system. Old military studies back this up. Flat-footed soldiers experienced fewer stress fractures and overuse injuries than their high-arched counterparts. High arches spring hard, but they break harder too. Flat feet endure. A flatter foot also increases ground contact, boosting stability on uneven terrain. More balance, more control, more reliability over long distances. It's not the foot of a sprinter, it's the foot of a tank, built less for explosive speed and more for unwavering stamina. What looked like a biomechanical weakness is actually a marathon-ready design, one that trades flash for longevity. And just as height in the foot offers no guarantee of superiority, height in the body doesn't either. Because being short hides advantages that physics itself can't deny. Short kings and queens. Being short is often treated like a limitation, but physics tells a different story. A lower center of gravity, tighter turning radius, and reduced rotational inertia transform shorter bodies into high-performance machines built for agility, precision, and speed. Shorter individuals change direction faster, balance more easily, and absorb impacts more efficiently. That's why elite gymnasts, divers, martial artists, and acrobats are often compact athletes with fast reflexes and unmatched stability. Their bodies aren't disadvantaged, they're optimized. Heat regulation is another hidden edge. Smaller bodies shed heat quicker because they have more skin relative to mass. While taller runners overheat under the sun, shorter bodies stay cooler, longer. It's energy efficiency built directly into anatomy. And then there's longevity. Multiple studies show shorter people tend to live 2 to 5 years longer on average, possibly due to reduced cell replication demands and lower strain on the cardiovascular system. Smaller frame, slower wear, longer life. You're not vertically challenged, you're evolution's compact performance model. Agile, efficient, and built to last. And just as height hides strength, another trait often labeled a weakness, lactose intolerance, conceals a surprising metabolic advantage. Lactose intolerance. Lactose intolerance feels like your body is declaring war on a simple milkshake, but biologically it's the global default. Nearly 2/3 of adults can't digest lactose properly, which means the normal people are actually the genetic minority. And avoiding dairy comes with hidden benefits most never notice. When lactose is off the menu, creativity replaces convenience. People with intolerance often turn to nut milks, coconut creams, oat-based coffees, and fermented foods rich in probiotics. These alternatives tend to be lower in saturated fat, easier on the gut, and better for metabolic health. Skipping dairy also reduces exposure to IGF-1, a growth hormone linked in some studies to increased risk of certain cancers. Plus, whole food replacements, like nuts, seeds, fruits, and plant fibers, support a stronger microbiome and healthier digestion. What seems like restriction becomes nutrition by evolution's design. Lactose intolerance isn't your body failing. It's your body signaling that you've outgrown infancy, the stage lactase was originally meant for. Most mammals lose the enzyme as they age. Humans are no different. So the stomachache isn't weakness. It's a biological nudge toward a cleaner, more diverse diet. And just as the gut adapts through avoidance, the mind adapts through introspection, turning introversion into a powerful lens for perception. Introversion. Introversion isn't shyness, awkwardness, or social malfunction. It's a brain wired for depth over noise, a mind that processes the world like a high-resolution camera instead of a fast, blurry snapshot. While extroverts recharge through stimulation, introverts gain power through quiet, and that quiet sharpens their perception in ways most people never experience. Because introverts conserve social energy, they observe more. They listen instead of waiting to speak. They pick up micro-expressions, tone shifts, and subtle emotional cues that fly past others. What looks like distance is actually deeper attention. They see the detail that changes the whole story. Solitude is their creative engine. Studies show uninterrupted time boosts innovation, problem-solving, and idea generation, the exact terrain introverts thrive in. It's no coincidence that so many writers, inventors, and thinkers favored isolation. Their minds connect dots best when the world stops shouting. Introverts also carry a quiet empathy, Knowing what it feels like to be overlooked makes them natural includers, careful leaders, and steady decision-makers. They aren't fighting for the spotlight. They're illuminating it for everyone else. Being introverted isn't a social deficit. It's a perceptual upgrade, a way of experiencing the world with sharper focus, richer insight, and deeper emotional bandwidth. And just as introversion reframes attention, another so-called disadvantage reframes vision itself, turning color blindness into a surprising pattern detection skill. Color blindness. Color blindness isn't about seeing less. It's about seeing differently. When reds and greens blend or certain hues lose their intensity, the brain begins relying on other visual cues: texture, brightness, motion, and pattern. And that shift unlocks advantages most people don't realize exist. Because color is less distracting, color-blind individuals often detect shapes, inconsistencies, and camouflaged objects faster than people with typical color vision. Military studies even showed that red-green colorblind soldiers were better at spotting hidden enemies in dense environments. Removing color noise sharpens contrast. Maps, charts, and data visuals also become clearer in unexpected ways. While others focus on pretty gradients, colorblind viewers track structure, the spacing, the repetition, the geometry. It's a different visual language, but one that excels at catching errors everyone else misses. Some even have better low-light perception because their eyes aren't overloaded by color signals. Fewer distractions, more clarity. Color blindness doesn't limit vision. It reorganizes it. And just as vision can adapt through subtraction, another cognitive difference adapts through reconstruction, turning dyslexia into a powerful big-picture thinking tool. See in the next video. Dyslexia isn't a sign of low intelligence. It's a brain that processes information in a completely different format. While most people read by decoding linear sequences of letters, dyslexic minds operate